gonna have a classic dance contest. Rule number 1, sassy as fuck at all times. If you're not familiar with the word sassy, think about Prince, Sylvester the Cat, a purple owl with a cape, real nice ring, lots of weed, but he doesn't smoke it. Rule number 2, when the current dancers are done dancing, you will pick the next person to replace you, and you will pick the next person to replace you, so on and so on and so on. Rule number 3, no cowards. If you get picked, you have to do it. If you don't want to do it, perfectly understandable. I would sort of go as far away as possible, though. Standing in the front, sort of a nightmare zone for people who don't want to dance. Rule number 4, this side of the room dances like Avatar was made back when they made Jurassic Park, so it would have been awesome. This side of the room dances like Avatar actually is, so kind of weird and sucks, but it's still fun to watch. All right, is everybody ready? Excellent.
When I first started getting into music or performing it live, I was in college. It was like the early 2000s. And computer music was just starting to emerge as like a performance. Like IDM was popular, but I hated going to shows and just seeing someone on a laptop. You know what I mean? There was nothing about it to me that was, I think I came in at a time when, again, like I said, there was like just starting to hit into the underground, this idea of live electronic music and playing it. And I think a lot of people went in a noise direction, but I was very focused in a dance music direction, but it not being like, not like techno, more like having that sort of feel of a rock band, but you know, with no rock band instruments, and just doing it with Casios and beats that are put on a CD and playing along to those and processing the voice and like having elements of like noise culture and rock culture and dance music culture. Does that make any sense? I'm going to ask you that every time I think I'm done saying, because the uncomfortable silence is just uncomfortable to me. So. All right, everybody! I try to create an atmosphere where the show is a celebration and it's fun, but it's not just escapism. I don't want it to just be candy or sugar or just like, let's get fucked up. You know, I'd like there to be some sort of grounding in reality, and I try to do certain things in the show that everyone in the group is an individual, but also a member of a collective, and that it's simultaneously you're always both of those things, and you're never just an individual, and you're never just a part of a group. Do you know what I mean? God damn it. You know, I think when I started to really discover my sound, you know, again, I was back in college, and it was probably 2001 or 2002, and Lightning Bolt was just starting to get big, and Paper Rad was just starting to emerge, and that whole Providence scene started to like permeate culture, and it sort of felt like anything could happen, and you could make anything with sound, and I don't know, there was no need to sound like a particular thing. Genre didn't matter anymore, because, you know, Lightning Bolt's one of those bands that are hard to describe because they're really heavy, but it's super uplifting, but the music is still aggressive, but I don't know, do you know what I mean? Those bands really blasted into my brain really hard in the way that they approached their audience and their sound, and how they were sort of like, not like going against the grain of their genre, but just running parallel to it with a new approach. And I think that sort of helped me find my footing in the world of sound, and me not really giving a shit if I made sense or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I did it again. I asked if you knew what I meant again.
Yeah, well, you walk in with a dog shaking it.
Oh, okay, and then that goes on the wall.
Yeah, and on the wall there's dog pizza time.
Okay, and then the alien upside down, it goes up and down each time, like until it's the end.
first started, it was largely about discovery. I was discovering sound and discovering what I could do with sound. And touring was a discovery, and I was going to places I'd never been before. And you know, I still love to travel very much, but I want to continue to discover. I don't want to continue to do the same thing again and again and again. So, and I think this record is me trying to, I don't know, not shed the old me, but just sort of like, you know, when sometimes you realize like, I need some new clothes. Just, I've been wearing the same clothes for fucking ever. Or just you realize you have no, like, I don't even really remember, I guess I know how I got all these clothes. Never mind. This analogy is terrible. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like I live in a time in a country where my country is like, one, fucking up quite a bit, but also the villain of the world when there's a lot of other villains out there. You know what I mean? Like, it's always easy to like point the finger at the biggest dickhead in the room, but then forget that all of his friends are dickheads too. Do you know what I mean? And that's weird for me to think about, because when I, you know, was growing up, I wouldn't not think of myself as American, but I wouldn't think of myself as American. There was this distance in the idea of what American culture was and what I was doing. And I think that's a stark difference in regards to the American tradition and the European tradition, especially within, you look at electronic music and you look at a band like Devo and you look at a band like Kraftwerk. And I feel like both of them took very traditional approaches to their sound. Kraftwerk, German, super modern, trying to sound like nothing that ever existed before. Devo, trying to sound like nothing that ever existed before, but also trying to sound like a rock band, like almost like a 1950s rock band, but with ring modulators and analog synthesizers. And both things never done before, but totally different approaches happening at the same time. One quintessentially European, one quintessentially American. Do you know what I mean? So when I think about the music that I make, while it's dance music and it's electronic music, I feel like you can instantly tell that it's from the United States and it's not from the UK or from Europe or anything like that. You know what I mean? God damn it.
There you go.
Came to play the trombone by seeing the 7th grade band was performing for all the 3rd graders. And then the 3rd graders would sign up and pick what instrument they wanted to play. And of course, all the boys wrote saxophone or trumpet, and all the girls wrote flute or clarinet. And you had to put a secondary instrument. So I wrote saxophone, and but I'd never seen the trombone before, and it was like the craziest instrument in the world to me. It sounded crazy, and the kid who was playing it couldn't really play, so it was just like, it just looked insane. I was like, that instrument's cool. So I signed up for the trombone, and obviously, you know, as my second choice. So obviously they were like, you're not gonna play the saxophone, you're definitely gonna play the trombone. No one else wrote trombone, so you're the trombone player. And I'm glad I was, because, I don't know, it's a weird instrument, and I think opened up the doorway in my brain that, you know, when you're a kid, being weird sucks. When you realize you're weird, it's almost like a burden. It's like, nothing I can do will make me like these people, and they will never like me. What the hell am I gonna do? Do you know what I mean? So like the trombone was, and I don't know, I think that was sort of me entering into the realm of being like, it's okay to be weird, and it doesn't matter if you're not gonna be like the guys who are good at soccer either. Do you know what I mean? God damn it.
I have a colleague, and we try to figure out how to summarize you in a few lines, which is really hard.